Think about it. Two houses, both are on the same street in Colleyville, Texas. They're about the same price, but one of them sits in the Grapevine Colleyville Independent School District and the other one does not. It's that single difference that could change the property tax bill on the house by thousands of dollars a year. And it's not just the tax bill you need to know about, it also determines which school your kids will report to when August rolls around. Almost nobody tells you that about Colleyville. And it is the most expensive thing to get wrong if you're thinking of moving here. So here's what this video is going to help you decide. It's going to help you figure out whether Colleyville belongs on your short list at all, and if it does, which part of Colleyville you should actually be searching in. Now, those are two different questions, and most people only ask about the first one. So stick with me to where I get into the school section, and because I'm going to show you exactly how to check which district an address is in before you think of writing an offer. It may only take you about 2 minutes and it can save you a 5-figure surprise. And just for your little reminder, if you're new here to my channel, my name is Kristen Carpentier. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm a mom of 4 and I raise my family here in these suburbs as well. And when we moved here, I didn't have the luxury of being able to research where it was that we wanted to land. So that's why I'm here helping to break down the cities and the suburbs so that you can make a well-informed decision on which area will work best for you and your family. All right, so let's get into it. Now, the fastest way to understand Colleyville is to hold it up next to its more famous next door neighbor, the city of Southlake. You'll find the same tier of affluence, pretty much the same tier of schools, but almost the opposite build. Southlake is built around a walkable town center, so the social life there has more of an address to focus things around. Colleyville doesn't really have that. Here you'll find that the land is the amenity. You'll find a lot of homes sitting on larger lots, and a lot of them are on at least a half an acre to an acre or even more. There are tons of mature trees, winding roads, and most homes are set way back off of the street. And that is what shapes everything else about this town, including the school district things that I just showed you. Colleyville didn't grow as one big master plan development with only one district around it. It grew as a more of a patchwork of different subdivisions that filled in over decades, which is why the city ended up overlapping 4 different school districts instead of just one. So rather than a couple of giant master plan communities, you get named little pockets. I've had families ask about areas like Whittier Heights and some more established sections like Montclair and Remington. And then those a little more on the upper end of things want to know about the big custom and estate corridors along roads like Glade and Hall Johnson. This is where you'll find the acre plus lots and more of that semi-rural feel in Colleyville. Now, one expectation you may want to set now is there's very little new construction here. Colleyville is largely built out, so new usually means a custom build or even a tear down and rebuild on an existing lot type of home, not a brand new subdivision. If a brand new tract home is what you're picturing, that's a whole lot of other areas around DFW will need to narrow down for you. And I'd rather tell you that in minute 2 than further down the road at minute 12. So for some context on the numbers, there are about 26,000 people in Colleyville with a median household income north of $200,000. And homeownership is at around 96%. So you'll find that turnover is pretty low and inventory stays pretty thin. In fact, I have been helping a couple of different clients lately that have been focusing on the Colleyville area for their next home. And the amount of homes that we have looked at that have been being sold by the original owners far outweighed what we have found in some of the other cities that we've been out touring. Now, the median age in Colleyville is around 46, and the housing inventory does seem to reflect that. There are very few starter homes, and you'll find mostly move up and larger custom homes here. Okay, now here's the thing I promised you that we would talk about. Colleyville is served primarily by the Grapevine Colleyville Independent School District. So the top rated district here is literally shared between the two cities. There's Colleyville Heritage High School and Grapevine High School. They're essentially more like sibling schools within the same district. GCISD carries an A+ overall rating and an A+ for academics on niche.com. And it does rank among the very best in the area. GCISD also runs iUniversity Prep, which niche has ranked the top online public high school in the state of Texas and among the top few in the entire country. Now, if you have a competitive athlete or a kid who needs a different type of schedule, that's a real option that most suburbs can't offer around the Metroplex. But here's the catch, and it's the reason I opened the way that I did. Not every Colleyville address is going to be zoned for the GCISD. The city overlaps 4 different school districts. GCISD does cover the majority of it, but it also feeds into parts of Keller ISD, parts of the Hearst-Euless Bedford District, also known as the HEB ISD, not to be confused with the grocery store. And there's a piece that sits within Birdville ISD as well. And that means that the combined property tax rate is different in every single one of them. GCISD does come in with the lowest property taxes, and Keller and Birdville ISD zoned areas will run most likely the highest. So across those 4 districts, you're looking at roughly $1.65 to just under $2 per $100 of value before your exemptions. And on $1 million house, that difference can add up to some real money every single year. So here's how you check it, and this is the 2 minutes that I promised you. Get that exact address. Honestly, don't just pull up the subdivision. You can't just use the street either. That could really change things up. Make sure you go off the exact address, then verify the district assignment with the district itself. Then go and pull the combined tax rate for that specific parcel from the county, because you can find out that 2 homes on the same road can land in entirely different schools or school districts. And I'll say what I always say, it may be new to you, but I do preach it in all of my videos. I am never going to tell a family which district is going to be best. That honestly is going to need to be your call. My job here is to make sure you know exactly which one that house is in, because here it sets your tax bill too. So head over to my website if you need to, where I keep a page on each of these districts there if you want to go deeper on any of them. So that's the district. Now the part that is going to decide it for most families is what all this land actually costs. The median single family home price here runs right around $1 million, but that's just the median price, not the entry point. And those can be very different numbers. Typical homes can land in the $600,000 range. Then you can find quite a few move-up homes in the $800,000 range. And the luxury tier will run well past $1 million for the larger homes and multiple millions for the big custom estates that you can find throughout Colleyville. So I would figure somewhere in the neighborhood of around $250 to $300 a square foot, depending on the tier and the age of the house. So Colleyville is one of the pricier suburbs that I do cover. And if budget is your number one constraint, I'll make sure to tell you like it is here. You may get more house for the money if you look maybe a little bit further out. And of course, we can also look at that. But here's the part that people underestimate. Colleyville is pretty much built out, and only a few hundred homes trade hands in an entire year. So at any given moment, the number of choices in your price band in the school district you want is probably going to be pretty small. That's kind of structural. It isn't a market phase that just is going to pass right along. And the land itself has a running cost. An acre is a lot of yard. You'll have more mowing to do, more irrigation and water needed, because we may be having a scorching summer this year here in the Dallas area, but we love our grass, and you'll also have more trees that you're going to need to maintain. But that's not a reason to avoid checking into Colleyville. But it is a line item, and it surprises people who move from a quarter-acre lots from somewhere. So if that part gives you pause, there's another answer that you may want to think about. Colleyville also has lower maintenance, patio, and villa-style communities. You could be in the same area, zoned to the same schools, and not have to worry about that acre that you're going to need to mow. There are a lot of empty nesters and busy 2-career families that want to take that route, and most buyers never find out it exists or even think about it. Now, on the tax side of things, there is one more thing worth knowing. There are exemptions for those that are still young at heart, but over 65, and also for some disabled homeowners, and that includes a city tax freeze. And of course, the biggest bonus of there being no Texas state income tax, which still moves the math for those families coming from states where that is most definitely not the case. I mean, talk about our friends from California, New York, maybe Oregon, and even New Jersey. So I know all this research is getting pretty exhausting. So if you do want some help running your real all-in number for a specific address, you can head to the Get Started section on my website and tell me the house that you were looking at, and I can run it for you. So let's make this a little bit more practical. If Colleyville is on your shortlist, here's what your search actually looks like. I don't go in and just search the city of Colleyville. I would do a search for a specific school district or even a specific school, and I would also look at the lot size inside of Colleyville. Decide first whether you want the acre and all of that upkeep, or maybe the smaller villa type home and a little bit more freedom, because those are almost different markets. Then we can confirm the district just in case. We don't want you to get attached to a particular house only to find out that it's not the area that you wanted to be in. And because inventory can run a little thin in a lot of the areas here, I would be ready to move when the right opportunity comes up. Not just because the market is hot, but because there are only ever a handful of homes that match both your district and your lot or home preference at the same time. In fact, that has happened for one of my clients that I've been working with recently. They're moving from California and they have already been here and combed the areas and the neighborhoods that they were interested in. So we knew what it was that they were looking for. We did make a plan, and when the right house popped up for sale, they hurried and booked their plane tickets to come and see it in person. Now that can't always happen every single time with every single buyer. Sometimes I have clients that want to do everything virtually, and we can do that based on your comfort levels. But other times clients prefer to come in person and are able to plan for it. It does make it easier when you have a bit of a window to look at homes and you have some specifics that we can watch for. And even better when it all aligns and can work out beautifully. Now let's talk about lifestyle for a second. The Colleyville Nature Center is really a genuine preserve. There are trails and ponds right in the middle of town. Colleyville also has a great park system. The main commercial area is the town center in Colleyville. There is a Whole Foods that's anchored right in the center of town, as well as a large Lifetime Fitness for those of you that are workout enthusiasts and love that. The area is convenient, but it's not a big town square like Southlake is. And you also have Grapevine that shares a border with Colleyville, which means you're close to the historic Main Street, Lake Grapevine, the Gaylord Texan, and Great Wolf Lodge. So you have a whole family entertainment backyard without really kind of having to leave the area. Okay, now let me talk you out of it because that's more useful than another list of pros. Colleyville is not usually the place that most first-time or budget-conscious buyers want to focus their home search on. With typical homes starting in the $600,000 range and the median sale near around $1 million, that prices a lot of families out. And it's certainly not for someone set on brand new construction. It's also not for someone who wants a walkable, busy downtown that's out their front door, because this is a quiet town. And for a night out, most people might drive to Southlake, Grapevine, or most likely to downtown Dallas. It's also probably not for someone who wants low maintenance living in a large master plan community, because the default here is a bigger lot and real upkeep. And one more thing to go check for yourself. Part of the city does sit near the DFW airport corridor, so some areas might have flight path noise. Where your home sits and how much that noise might bother you should be checked out personally. That's not a knock, it's just true, and it does vary throughout the city. But that also goes for other cities that do surround the airport. So go walk the areas that you like and see how disruptive it makes your life, because that noise affects everybody differently. Oh, and the one I'd hate for you to learn the expensive way, don't assume that your home is going to be zoned to Grapevine Colleyville Independent School District. Make sure you verify it. I do have a friend from high school that moved here years ago, and it happened to be at the beginning of the summer. So when she went to get her boys ready for school, she literally had no idea they were zoned to a different school district. She was pretty frustrated at first because no one had told her and she had just assumed. So the verdict, put Colleyville on your short list. If you want top tier schools and some real space, if you're looking for an area with mature trees, big lots, and a little bit more privacy, if you want central access to both downtown Dallas and downtown Fort Worth and convenience of living right next to the airport, and of course, if you're comfortable in an area where typical homes are starting in the $600,000 range, and you might as well leave it off if you are only looking for new construction, and if you want a more walkable downtown or shopping area, and of course, needing a lower entry price. So whichever way you go, verify the school district. This will help prepare you for your taxes as well. And if you're weighing it against Southlake specifically, I do have a Southlake versus Colleyville video that puts them up side by side. Just click the card above if you want to watch that one next. So just 2 easy next steps depending on where you are. And if you're still researching, grab my free DFW family relocation guide that's over on my website. The link is down below, or scan that QR code at the bottom of the screen. And if you're ready for me to help you find the right lot in the right district, head on over to Get Started, or just give me a call, send me a text, or an email. Yes, it's me you'll get on the phone. I really try and keep with facts and leave all the fluff behind so you get a clear picture of what it's like living in these cities. And you'll never get any pressure from me. I love providing real information and data so you can start your search feeling confident and happy with what to do next, and maybe help you sleep a little bit better tonight. So until next time, take care.